Welcome back to
SuperFast SuperFit. 3-day long-term fasting, day 2.
This is day 2. So we are well into at the end of day 2. So we've had a pre-fast, a day 1, and this is day 2 at the end.
Yeah.
We'll have 2 more videos after this one.
Yeah.
Day 3 and then the post-fast.
Mm-hmm.
So today we want to talk about what a typical second day of a fast is like.
Mm-hmm.
And I write about it in my book, so I'll hit on it here, but if you want to learn more, you can read the book. We're going to talk about our sleep, when we got up.
What did we do?
What did we do today? Since it's the second day, and what we drank, because we didn't have any food, but we did drink. And we're going to talk about our adverse events, which are starting. They weren't too much the first day, but the second day they really started to come out. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how most people feel during a fast, long-term fast.
Let's start.
All right, so let's start with a typical second day and how that feels. We don't experience this typical second day. We may have when we first started fasting.
But since we had 5 years and a half experience of intermittent fasting.
And long-term fasting, which is super fasting.
Which is what we're doing now. So it's not that
we feel different.
Yeah,
we feel it's not that difficult. We feel different. So what is the typical person who just started fasting? Let's say you wanted to start fasting. You've never fasted before, and you decided, I'm going to go on a 3-day fast, which most people can handle. But if you go longer than 3 days, you should get medical advice and supervision and this kind of stuff. So if you just decided to start, the first day, you would feel hungry, and you'd probably feel very hungry. But the second day, you would be ravenously hungry. You would be hungry to the point where you wanted to break the fast immediately, but you shouldn't. This is typical of how people feel. And it's hunger that is almost unbearable. But by the third day, the hunger goes away in a long-term fast. So unfortunately for a 3-day fast, you probably wouldn't feel no hunger for very long, if at all. But if you did a 5-day fast or a 7-day fast, from day 3 to the end, you would not feel hunger until you hit true hunger, which is when your body tells you you've gone through so much fat that you don't have any more fat to burn, and then your body will tell you to eat something. And it's pretty urgent at that point to eat something. But on a 3-day fast, if you're a normal person with normal body weight, you're not going to experience true hunger. And if you eat a standard American diet, you don't know what true hunger is. You only know what toxic hunger is. And that's what you're going to feel like that second day of the fast. Since we fast regularly, we have lost hunger. Since the first month of fasting, intermittent fasting, we have not felt hunger. And unfortunately, you don't feel that for 16-8 or 18-6 intermittent fasting. But if you start fasting for a full day, at least 24 hours per week, the hunger should go away after a month. Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay. So then, how did you sleep last night?
In and out, because there was a mosquito stinging around my ear, and I was not very comfortable. I was sleeping on futon because it was so cold. I didn't want to have a shower. So I did get some sleep. Another thing is I got some pain on my knee.
Okay, so that's
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's a healing crisis. We'll talk about that later. So I actually had a very good night's sleep which is surprising because sometimes you can get insomnia with a long-term fast. Sometimes you can get insomnia with intermittent fasting. It's just one of those things that happens. It's not a bad thing, really, because we have more energy when we fast, but it can happen. And it didn't happen. I slept quite well. I did take a shower and I went to bed.
Yeah.
But I slept quite well all the way through the night.
That's interesting because according to our previous experience, we had insomnia in long-term fasting more than
a lot more.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
So we'll see if it happens tonight or the third night, which is possible. So we got to knock on wood that we haven't had it yet. Again, knock on wood. So I got up early though. I got up early at about 10 a.m., which is not really early because usually I get up at around 6 a.m. So I got up at 10 a.m. and I got dressed to work on some videos and just to be up and about rather than laying in bed all day, which I did yesterday. And I really paid for staying in bed all day yesterday working because my butt, I got a little bit of a sore on my butt from doing that. So I want that to heal, which it did. It went away. So
yeah. So for me, this time I did something different. Before, every time when I did long-term fast, I tend to lay on bed. Okay, just have some tea ready in my reach so I can get some water all the time. And I work on bed. But I found the same problem, like my butt hurts a lot. And then it caused a pain on my neck also. And it caused headache. The headache could come from caffeine withdrawal. Or from this long time working on bed in front of the computer. So this time I changed. I pretty much just got up and got dressed and I started to walk around, sit by the desk, work for a while, but then I walk around, so I think that will help a little bit. I didn't have headache actually today. The whole day I didn't have headache.
And we're going to talk about movement while you're fasting a little bit later. So, but that's where we were. And of course, now I want to talk about what we drank, which we drank herbal tea again, because we had the leaves from the pomegranate tree. So we drank that, a couple of cups of that, and water, which we have now in the coffee cup, filtered water.
And we try to remind each other to drink more today, because yesterday, at least for me, I didn't drink enough. Today I drank a little bit more, but still it's not enough, right? Yeah,
so yesterday we both didn't drink enough. As we said in the last part of this, we drank a couple of cups of tea each and a couple of cups of water. And then after the video that we made yesterday, I drank a couple more cups of water. I got about 1.5 liters of water, which is not enough. So tonight I'll do the same thing, but I drank a lot of tea and I drank a lot of water up to this point. And of course we're drinking water right now while we're making the video. So I will get very close to my 2 liters, if not 2 liters. What about you?
I'm far away from that. I really need to drink more. No matter it's cold or not, I need to force myself to drink.
You have to force yourself. It's something that you got to get used to, and you got to do it because it actually helps the cells do their job of cleaning and detoxing. So if you don't get enough water, your body can't detox as well as if you get enough water. So we recommend getting a lot of water.
Yeah, because the toxin coming out from your body through pee, through poo, and the sweat, right?
That's right. So and since we're not moving, we don't have the sweat, and since we're not eating, we don't have the poo. So we got to get rid of it through pee. Once we start eating and moving around more, we'll get rid of some toxins that way also. But it's very important to drink water. during a long-term fast. So now let's talk about the adverse events that have been happening more lately because we've been fasting longer. And the number one thing that I always get on a fast longer than one day is dry lips.
The same here.
Yeah,
I had a very bad habit now. I started to bite on my
bite the
dead skin off.
Yeah. So, so dry lips. We don't recommend biting the dry skin off, but it's just a normal part of
long-term
fasting. Mm-hmm. So I did get something that kind of worried me a little bit. I was laying on the futon watching some funny shows, which we did today. And I put my arms up like this behind my head, and I got a muscle twitch right here, just right here. And when I put it down, when I put my elbows down, it went away. So I'm not worried about it. But muscle twitches are something that you should worry about, because a muscle twitch is an imbalance in chemicals in your muscle cells. But if it's totally out of balance, then you're going to have these muscle twitches. And a muscle twitch is okay, but your heart's a muscle. So if your heart starts twitching, you could run into some real problems. So what I do is, if it doesn't go away right away, I make sure I'm drinking mineral water. In this case, I would drink some more tea if the muscle twitch kept going. And then if the muscle twitch doesn't go away after mineral water or tea, then you might have to start thinking about breaking the fast. Mm-hmm. And it depends on where the twitch is. I mean, this was a large muscle. My bicep is a large muscle. I'd like to make it larger, but it's a large muscle. So if it's just a twitch in my eye right here, a muscle right here in my cheek, I'm going to be like, okay, well, that's no big deal. But when it starts getting into big muscles like calves or thighs or glute, which these are your really big muscles, then you would have to worry about it. It could turn into a problem. So
you have to know your body.
Yeah.
You have to notice all the changes, little changes.
Yeah. I write about that in my book also. So, and then.
Now for you, it's muscle twitch. For me, it's the knee pain. I just mentioned just now. That's why last night I couldn't get very good sleep. It's not that bad, but I can notice it. Slight noticeable pain. I think it's from my jogging. And then now it's a healing crisis for me.
So far, nothing to really worry about. These are all normal adverse events for long-term fasts. And another one that we have had that I've noticed.
We both have. The rest of them, we both have.
I was watching the funny shows that we were laying on the futon watching after we finished our work. Yeah, and so, we went for a walk in the park. We'll talk about that in just a second. But I was sitting there and I was thinking, what's that bad smell? It smelled like, I won't say what it smelled like. It just smelled bad. And I smelled her breath, and
he didn't. I let him. I said, "Come here, smell me."
She smelled my breath, and we determined that it was probably one of our bad breath that was. And this is another thing, that we get rid of our toxins through our breath and through saliva and that kind of stuff. So,
So it happens.
It's a natural adverse.
Because we got asked this question before.
Yes.
About this bad breath thing, and it's not one. See, that's a way to test if you love each other. Because you can put up with each other's, no matter shortcomings, or you don't feel embarrassed because you're showing your vulnerable side of it, Yeah. So, that's good.
So, but the good news is we've had no serious healing crises, and that just means that we're pretty healthy. So that's it.
And it's because we do intermittent fast almost every other day. So that will help to get the toxin out. So that will make our long-term fasting much easier.
Yeah.
Right.
Super fasting, intermittent fasting, and these 4 long-term fasts per year is the reason why we are healthy and the reason why we're not having major healing crises.
Another thing is, it's super cold. I feel it's colder. Like every day goes, it's colder and colder. That's why today I didn't do much work. I pretty much, when the sun came out, I just put my chair near the sunshine and I start to read. I feel so warm and comfortable. And we start to drink the warm tea,
Yeah.
When the warm liquid got into our mouth, oh my God.
That was a big help.
Right?
There,
Feels
yes.
so good.
Since it was cold, especially in the apartment, we went for a walk. And then we got outside in the warm sun and we decided, let's go to the park. So we went for a walk in the park. It was pretty long. I was tired by the end of it.
Yeah, of course.
True North Health Clinic, which is a long-term fasting clinic. They fast people who are very sick. They fast them for 40 days and up to 40 days. And they have medical supervision there. It's a good place. They're doing a lot of good work there and a lot of good studies. And then the German fasters in Germany, fasting is a big thing. They really take fasting serious. And both sides of the ocean talk about movement, like you should move a little bit. The Germans take it a little bit more to the extreme. They talk about light exercise, even more than walking. The North Americans talk about just stretching and yoga to get moving. But other than that, complete rest.
Very light exercise.
Very light exercise. And so that's what we did today. It turned into a little bit heavier than just yoga and stretching. But our long walk, it keeps you from getting blood clots and stuff like that. And, it gets your blood circulating. So you should try and move around. And that's why when we're working and we're up out of bed and we're going to the bathroom and we're going to get tea or we're going to get water, this helps to keep the blood circulating. Whereas staying in bed all day might not be the best idea, not just because of sores.
But it has its own benefits also, right?
If you feel like staying in bed, stay in bed. But if you can get up and move around, it's a good idea. So what I was telling JC on the walk is that our bodies have the ability to eat and digest, or do physical exercise, or heal at the cellular level. But the body cannot do any of those simultaneously, only one. So if you're eating and digesting, and you go to do physical exercise like jog or lift weights, the blood goes to the muscles that you're using for the physical exercise, and it takes the blood away from the digestion. So you're not digesting as well. Yeah. So your body has a chance to do one or the other. So we aren't eating right now, so we're not digesting, but we did physical exercise. So that took the energy in the blood away from healing at the cellular level so that we could do the exercise, the walk. But when we came back, we laid down to rest, and the healing at the cellular level continued.
Yeah. So basically you cannot be greedy. You cannot do all 3 things and thinking your body will be like doing multiple tasks at the same time, right? Yeah.
And basically the 2, eating or physical exercise, is opposite of healing at the cellular level. So if you're eating 3 meals a day, you're not healing at the cellular level. If you're exercising, you're not healing at the cellular level. When we got back home from the walk,
then we decided to take a rest on the futon. So we both lay on the futon and watch some funny shows. And that's a very good advice for you guys also. Sometimes some people feel like time just goes so slow, like because you don't need to cook, you don't need to eat, you don't need to worry about, housework and many things. So time goes so slow. Then the fasting seems harder, right? Because you hope the day goes faster. Then you can choose those time to do something you really want to do when you don't have time to do. Like, watch some shows you always want to watch, read some books, play some games, and time will fly,
And we were watching comedians.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I noticed, which will pretty much take us to the end of this video, one of the things that I noticed is that when I'm fasting, long-term fasting, I can watch the funniest comedian. And Jacie's even noticed this. I have some comedians that I watch and I laugh uproariously every time they tell the same joke, but I'm laughing just as if I heard it for the first time. But when I'm fasting, I might do this.
Yeah.
I mean, if I do that, it was funny. Generally, I just sit there and just smile, and because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I still find it as funny, but I can't give the energy to the laughter.
Yeah. And then he will say, this guy is good. So, well, you didn't show it.
Yeah. This guy has good jokes.
Yeah. Well, you
but I didn't
about
laugh.
that.
So, yeah, that brings us to the end of the podcast. We have to. Right now, I feel tired and I look tired. I'm drawn. You can see, if those of you who are watching me in the video, you can see my cheeks are drawn, but the fullness will come back when I refeed. Just like the white blood cells will come back anew when I refeed. So this is just what you have to put up with to heal your body.
Yeah, that's true. I feel much better this time for the second day of fasting, long-term fasting. That's interesting. According to what I remember, for long-term fasting before, I pretty much spent 3 days laying on bed.
Yeah, for us, the second day was always the toughest.
Yeah.
We felt the most empty. We felt the worst.
Upset stomach.
Mm-hmm. We were very, very tired.
Mm-hmm.
But by the third day, when the hunger goes away, we always felt better. But I felt pretty good today too. So
let's see how we feel tomorrow.
It's always good.
Yeah.
Let's see how we feel tomorrow. So until tomorrow, happy fasting.
Exactly.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.